Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today's recipe is a stewed chicken in red wine. This is my rendition of Julia Child's coq au vin. This is a really easy, hearty stew, and it's great for the cold days of winter. I'm going to go quickly through the ingredients, but on my channel I always include a recipe card that you can click on, pause it, jot it down, or take that screenshot. You need chicken, Holland House red cooking wine, onions, garlic, carrots, celery, mushrooms, butter, parsley, tomato paste, chicken bouillon, salt and pepper, flour, thyme, bay leaves, oil, and I'm going to put them on butter noodles today. To get to the finish line fast, I put 2 big pots on high, and I'm adding in about 1 tablespoon of olive oil into each. And in my hot pan, I place my chicken skin side down. We have 4 pounds of chicken today. I like to make this dish for an army because I like the leftovers. By having 2 pots going, that means I can make a lot of this recipe, get it in the pot, and then I don't have to babysit it so much as the chicken is simmering and stewing. The heat's on high because all I care about is caramelizing the exterior of the chicken skin and getting it brown. We got a lot of action, Jackson. I don't want my skin to stick, so I put my spatula underneath it and give it a little sliding action. I happen to like the dark meat, and so that's why I'm using chicken legs and thighs. So while that's going on, sprinkle your chicken with salt. That's about 1/2 teaspoon for that amount. And on to the other one. Bing! And now time for some pepper. This dish has so many rich flavors going on. As soon as you're getting a little bit of browning, then you stir it up. Oh, I see color. This fast fry method gives the browning on the exterior, and the finishing of the cooking is going to happen in the stew. And after we have some nice color, we take our chicken out and put it on a plate. I want you to notice the oil in the bottom of that pan. The oil in the bottom of that pan is going to be used for our next ingredient. I'm adding 1½ cups of celery and 1½ cups of carrots to that. Swish that around and see it's totally absorbing all of that oil. And as you stir it, try to get up those beautiful little chunks of chicken because they're going to add the flavor. My pan is still on high for this part of the recipe. Pan 2 is done too, and out comes the chicken. And into that pan goes 1½ cups of mushrooms. And that pan is still on high as well. And you stir them up, and now they're going to fry in the leftover chicken fat with that olive oil. That's 4 pounds of chicken sitting right there on deck. He's waiting for his turn again in the stew. And for a shout out to Julia Child, I'm using little pearl onions. These are optional. But Julia used pearl onions in her recipe, and I love her. I'm putting 2 pounds of pearl onions in boiling water because you got to skin them. You got to cook those onions for 2 minutes in order to get the peels off of them easily. Mushrooms have a lot of water in them, and I'm using that to my best advantage because as they drip out that water, I'm going to deglaze my pan. Deglazing just means get every little hunk of that good food into your dish. I love using stainless steel pans for this, and the flat edge of my little spatula that's stainless steel makes it all go pretty easy. Can you believe how much those mushrooms cook down? They always do. It's like a mystery to me. They must have a whole lot of air and water in them. Mushroom group gets turned off. And they're joining the party in the other pan. All right now, everybody's got to mingle to make friends. I'm ready to turn this pan down to medium now. Back on that pan goes, on to high, and I think I'm going to add another couple tablespoons of butter as I add my onions. Chicken stewed in red wine has a lot of onions in it, and I just don't think you can overdo onions. You're going to saute the onions until you get some brown on the color because that's a little caramelization factor going in your favor. Okay, these have been boiling for 2 minutes. To the sink they go and drain, and they need to cool down before I can handle them. So we're deglazing our pan with Holland House cooking wine. Holland House cooking wines have a great robust flavor, so they don't decompose that flavor when they get to hot temperatures, which is what the stew has. Holland House cooking wines are made for cooking. So I see in the pan, we got some scraping to do. You need to clean your pan to make sure all those flavors are in your food, and the pan doesn't get the benefit of that. I want the whole bottle in this pan. And that's 2 cups. It's time to stir up the onions, and I'm adding 4 big heads of garlic that I've rough chopped into it. And give it a swirl. Wow. I add my garlic towards the end because I do not want to brown the garlic. I just want to roast it slightly. Browning garlic can make that bitter, whereas a browned onion has a lot of flavor to it. I'm only going to cook this another 60 seconds. That's going to be it. I'm adding back my chicken to that big pot. And don't forget the juice. That's extra flavor there. And with our second bottle of Holland House Red cooking wine, let's deglaze our next pan. Whee! I have fun in the kitchen, and I hope you do too. This wine already has salt in it, about 1 teaspoon per cup, so it's a very stabilized flavor. It's going to add such richness and complexity to this dish. With that wine boil, it takes out the alcohol, so you're not going to get drunk off this chicken dish. The recipe has a total of 4 cups of Holland House Red cooking wine. Now I'm adding 2 bay leaves and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. And stir it around. Interesting fact, all Holland House cooking wines are gluten-free. And now we incorporate the onions and the garlic with the beautiful Holland House cooking wine and the bay leaves and the thyme into our master pot and give it a swirl. Oh wow, look at that. That's gorgeous. I'm now adding 4 cups of water to our red chicken stew. Coq au vin. And another 4 cups to make a total of 8 because I'm feeding an army with this. And hopefully there's going to be leftovers for me. I want to get it back to a boil, so back up to high it goes and give it a big stir. We need to pop the onions out of their little skin. So I cut up both ends and you pop them out. Bing! I'm not always that lucky. And in case you don't have good aim, just cut the ends off and do a little slice up the side and just peel the skin. There you go. Into the pot he goes. Put in a tablespoon of butter with those pearl onions and saute them up too. Well, the pearl onion part can be a lot of fun. It also takes a lot of time, so I typically skip this part and just use a brown onion, a big one. Add 2 tablespoons of chicken broth granules into your stock. And when it comes to boil, reduce it to a slow simmer. The slow simmer is going to give your chicken tenderness. If you keep it on a high boil, it won't. It'll be tough chicken. Turn your stove back on, medium high, and put 3 tablespoons of butter. We're now going to make a roux. Melt that butter, and you're going to add about 8 tablespoons of flour to the roux because you're going to want to thicken up that sauce. And with a whisk, we're going to cook the flour. By making a roux and cooking your flour in a fat like butter, what you're doing is you're giving it a nutty flavor to the flour. It takes away like that pasty taste, and after about 60 seconds, you're done. That chicken had its skin on it, and that included a little fat. So I'm stealing it. Stir it around, and then add it to your flour. Turn it down to medium-low at this point, and keep going. This makes it so the flour isn't lumpy in my stew. Oh wow, it looks like a really delicious thick gravy. And to my roux, I'm adding 1 can of tomato paste, which is 6 ounces. And add some more stock to that, a few ladles, and mix it around. This is my lump prevention method. And I keep going. I don't want any lumps, not a single one. And then you're gonna add it to your big stock pot. Scrape that pan and get every little bit and give it a big stir. And on a medium-low simmer, you need to let that cook for about an hour to an hour and a half. And at the very end, we add our parsley and our pearl onions. Join the party. Wow, look at the quantity of that. I hope you have a lot of family and friends coming over for your coq au vin. It's been a couple hours. We're ready to serve it. And I put this on top of buttered noodles. Oh, wow. Look at that. And the beautiful sauce. Oh, yum. I want to thank Holland House Cooking Wines for sponsoring this video. I've been using them for years. They're great. Ooh, yummy. Comment and tell me what you like to eat on a cold winter's night. Wow. Talk about a hearty dinner for you and your family. Click the link below and find out more about Holland House cooking wines. I've got a ton of recipes, and make sure you try this one. I'm Rebecca Brown, subscribe to my channel, and let's keep making great things in the kitchen, like red wine chicken stew, coq au vin. Bon appetit.